Alright, welcome guys. This is going to be a quick intro to this build. I'm going to probably put Maelstrom runs somewhere behind it. I'm going to call this build Dangerzone. I'll tell you why. It's a dangerous build to run. It's good for a Stam Sorc, but the equipment overall can work on any Stam build. In fact, it applies all around. I find this to be a very strong PvE build. So I'll jump right into it. I use food with this build. With food, you get pretty good stats. Not super high health. This is blue food. This is just health, max stam. That's it. Nothing fancy. I'm trying to get as much stam out of here as I can while still getting health. So it puts me at 21.6 health, but my stam's 37.5 about. That's with bound armaments on, which gives me some more max stam. I use bow and I use two-hander. And I'll explain why I use the bow. Two-hander is pretty much ingrained in all my builds. Armor-wise, Twice-Born Star. This is where it all starts, okay? Twice-Born Star is a very good set. It's very good for PvE. It's so good. In PvE, especially as Stam, you really want to make sure you have good crit rate. Very good. My weapon critical happens to be 62.4. It's a little high. It's because I have a Maelstrom Maul with crit rate on it. I'm trying to get one with precise. I will prefer that for the sharpened bonus. Not precise, sharpened. I want not precise. I want to get that extra damage out of there. But anyway, 50% plus crit rate, good thing to have. So I use the Thief and I use the Shadow for mundus stones. The Thief gives you a lot of crit rate. I think it's like 11% by default. And the Shadow, I forget what its crit damage is, but it's pretty good. Oh shit. Spaz. Spaz, thank you for the sub. Right in the middle of my video. I appreciate that. Okay. Thank you for the support, Spaz. Before I get off track then, the rest of the build, I do a two-piece Molakina. This is not necessarily needed. I run it because one, I do overload, and two, I can make Molakina work. Molakina is very dangerous to use. It makes your skill costs go up a lot. So use it wisely, and not everyone looking at this build will be able to get it. You can definitely craft yourself the Twice-Born Star. What I would recommend is doing two pieces of Undaunted, whether it's Blood Spawn, one piece, something else, one piece, or maybe you use the Dwemer. What the hell's the Dwemer set called? The little summon guy, Engine Guardian. You could use Engine Guardian, whatever you want. Put something in here, okay, for survival. I don't really have anything for survival. My survival comes from my damage, from my crits with crit surge. Okay. And then three-piece ring, neck of agility. Okay, I have healthy on 2, robust on 1. I wouldn't do this without 20k health or more. You can do it without that. It's just some things will really one-shot you below 20k. And then down here you can use whatever. I have the Maelstrom Maul and the Maelstrom Bow, which is nice. But you don't need them. You could just get a V16, whatever weapon, until you get your Maelstrom weapon, which should be your goal coming into here.
You son of a bitch.
You son of a bitch. Thank you for the follow. Skill-wise, this pretty much looks like my normal bar. Crit Rush, okay, Wrecking Blow, Execute. Now I dropped. Usually I have Rally in here. I do not use Rally at all because I rely on healing through offense. I'll explain that a little more. So I made room to put bound armaments in here, number 1. And then I also dropped Streak because you really don't need Streak in here for Evil Hunter, which is going to boost my crit rate, number 2. And my DPS while it's up. And then lastly I've done Breaker over here to amp up my damage even more. Excellent. Bar 2. Okay, I have a bow, no dual wield. Reason I use bow is because basically I focus using two-hander all the time. When I need to, I will go and I'll swap real quick. I can put those arrows up. See, you can queue the skill up, weapon swap immediately, and start beating stuff up. And this AoE's happening the whole time around you. So that's why that's pretty nice to use, bow. Bound armaments, again, you need Boundless Storm, that's critical. I use Vigor in here for healing. And then Surge for the last bit. Crit Surge is core. If your Crit Surge fades with this build, you will die immediately. You need Crit Surge. On my overload bar, I have Crit Surge, again, redundant. I have Evil Hunter over here again, just to rebuff it. I have Caltrops, because sometimes between rounds I'll drop Caltrops. And then Trap is really good as well. Trap's good because it has Minor Force, increases crit damage by 12%. That is good. Good stuff. You want to get that off as much as you can. So you just drop Rearming Trap. You can get two shots out of that. That'll give you Minor Force when you put it up. And that is pretty much the skill build. As far as my attributes go, bang, 64 in the stamina. As far as my enchants go, everything is enchanted for stamina. Okay, everything. Almost everything has divines, minus this one Molag Kina helm. Everything is in divines. You want to amp. You need that. You need to amp up your 2 mundus stones. Stam recovery on all 3 pieces of jewelry, which is my only recovery, which is going to be fortified by Mooncalf. 25% more regen off those. Awesome. Then I also have Summon Tenacity here, and Summon a Healthy, Springer and Warlord a little bit. Tumbling. Gotta love tumbling. Over here, I have Blessed, increased healing effectiveness on me for Vigor. Heavy weapon, I have 10% in there for the blunt. And then Precise Strikes, a little bit in the piercing, 100 in the money. And then Spell Shield, a little bit in resistance, some medium armor. Let's just spread them out over here. You want to get Unchained if you can, if you have the CP for it. Unchained is awesome. So Elemental Defender, Thick-Skinned, Hardy. Bastion 10 over here for healing again. So that's the CP coverage. What else is critical for you to know? What do your stats look like? Without Molag Kina up, your weapon damage is only at 2946. But you really have to take into account how high your stamina is. Look at these Vigor heals, okay? Look at that. 3.8k, 3.8k. That's what my Vigor's doing, because my stamina is so high, okay? That means a lot. So, again, this build, Vigor is like your heal. You don't have to have it up all the time. That's why it's on an off bar. I rely on Crit Surge, and I'll show you what I mean real quick on the first round. Just to give you an idea how hard this hits, how high the crits are, how reliable the crits are, and why it's focused around critting. And every time I crit, I heal off it. Okay? So I put down some Caltrops, a Trap, and then this is Veteran, by the way. This is not normal mode. I just hit really hard. See, I can throw my bow down before spawning, which is why bow is really good in this dungeon, I find. But see my heals on the left, Surge heal, 12.7k. See that? 7.1k Surge heal, 8.5k. What I do a lot is I backpedal and crit rush. Crit rush is 100% crit. So every time you crit rush with Crit Surge up, you get a burst heal. Which is why the whole build becomes core on your two-hander and crit rush. Again, watch. Bang, 8.8 Crit Surge heal. So all those crit boosts that you get really start to help out when it comes to, you know, this two-hander. It's just sick. The damage is real. And this is the build I've been doing this with for a while. I'm very happy with this build. When I get low on stamina, I'll switch to Overload, and I can just light attack with Overload. Okay? It's not that it's super great on Stam Sorc, because it's not. It's broken, and Eric Roble won't fix it. Shout out to Eric Roble, the non-fixer of Stam Sorcs. And, you know, but it's still good Because one, you can use the Molag Kina with overload. 2 light attacks, it procs Kina, and it hits pretty good. It's still good. But for how hard it should be hitting really hard overload. But it's still good. All things put aside. If you tried to use overload without a build like this, it would be embarrassing, the damage that it would do. It's just, this build is geared so well for damage. This build is better than what I was running with Ali. The Ali build, this will replace it, hands down. Not even comparable. I spent a lot of time figuring out the best way I could go about it in this build, and this is it. This build's great. So again, Caltrops, Trap, I queued up Arrow, open up with a crit charge, just start weaving in, proc the Molag Kina right there. Gonna drop Dawnbreaker right now while I have the Molag Kina proc. It's gonna hit that much harder. Just make sure your crit surge doesn't fall. Okay? Reapply arrows, crit surge buff. Repeat that whole process. Go to town on them again. See when I'm hurt? I back off and I crit rush. Okay? Reliable healing from crit rush. That is why crit rush is again very core. Reapply crit surge. Here we go. Add spawning. I'm gonna Dawnbreak again. That ad's already dead. So it's good damage. I could do it quicker than that. A lot of times I do. You can really push your damage to the limit with this. And that is pretty much the build. I will make, that's where I'm going to end this video. And I will put out future stuff on all the stages in here. Maybe this run, but I'll just put them in separate videos. So I hope you enjoy this build. It is a good one. If you have any questions, post them below. Let me know. And I will guide you through it. Take some practice to make this build work, though. It's very dangerous. That's why it's called the Danger Zone. Alright? You have to rely on your crits.